taking a Poppy type contract, just 1 or 2 years every year, over and over and over.
Yeah, something like that. And because I mean, at 33, nobody's gonna unload an 8-year deal on him. I mean, that would be Cabrera, A-Rod all over, where they're just kind of limping, through their late 30s. And so I'm pretty optimistic that at least his future is long term.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Chris Sale's as well as long term. I mean, next year he's in a club option, so we'll obviously pick that club option up, and then after that he's a UFA at 2020 at 31 years old. I wouldn't give him an 8-year deal, but I would give him 4 to 6. I think would be really fair with, once again, money doesn't matter if it's under 6 years. I think.
Yeah, I think it would be closer to 6 because I think he's what. Well, actually, after next year, yeah, that might be his age 29 or 30 year. So
he's 29 right now. He'll be 31 in his UFA year.
Okay, yeah. So actually, you're probably right on the mark then, as far as that goes. They could throw some vesting options at the end of it or whatever as well.
Yeah, and they could front load, back load, whatever it would be, legal, whatever. But I think, I think he's worth it. I think he's one of the best pitchers in the American League. And in general, I love Chris Sale. I mean, his market value is 6 years at $188 million. So there's the 6 years, $31 million a year. Yeah. I don't think he'll get that much just because 31. When he's 36, he's going to be pitching worth $31 million. But at the same time, if Greinke and Kershaw and Scherzer and Lester get all that type of money, then maybe he would too. I wouldn't mind going 5 years at $30 million a year. I think that'd be a nice middle option between the 4 that would help the Sox and the 6 that would help him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who else is in play for him. And the interesting thing too is Chicago should be about ready to contend by then, but I don't think he really has much interest in going back there. I think he was.
No, I don't think he cares at all. I think if anything, he would be more interested in the other Chicago if they could ever move some contracts around.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, maybe Lester's deal might be coming up around then. That's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean they have other guys that they're kind of stuck with right now, like Darvish, and I mean Quintana's figuring it out, but Lester's contract is done in 2021. So well, it's a vested option 2021.
Yeah.
So if he sucks, they won't make that vested option happen. So they could put I mean he makes $27 million a year, so they could pay him $30 million a year, Chris Sale, and they could fit him right in. But then again, they have Rizzo and Bryant and all those other guys to sign, so we don't know how that's going to
go. Yeah. 2 years can definitely be a lifetime in this sport as far as how the dominoes fall. Anyway, all right. Well, let's see. Carson Smith done for the year.
Yeah, shocker.
Evan Drellick goes, he is likely done for the year. I'm like,
yeah, I saw that, likely.
I was like, all right, well, yeah. So, and I wonder if he's just done altogether because of the way he tried to throw Cora under the bus.
He might be here.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
I don't think so, like off the top, just because his contract is so good for us that I think they try and bring him back and work that stuff out. I mean, you've had some players kind of, you look at David Price and Eck, and you look at John Lackey and how hated he was, and you look at the chicken and beer scandal with some of those guys and everything like that. So I think that it's possible to come back and kind of fix that and mend that, and I'm sure they've been talking, but he's arbitration the next 2 years, only makes $850K. He's not going to make more than $1 million next year, especially with the way it went. So, I mean, you could get him for $850K again for the next 2 years. You might as well try him. He's 29 years old. I mean, 28 years old right now. I mean, I feel like they're going to try and keep him, but he's done for the year. You know what? Another guy, just even if he could come back, don't. Just let him get better. Let him get healthy. Next year's a new year. We have other people to replace him. We can go get a little Addison Reed type guy at the deadline if we really needed it. So, I think the Red Sox need to be smart with some of their injured players here, like they were with Mookie, because they handled that pretty well. I think they should kind of take notes on that.
Yeah, and Kimbrel, I don't expect him to be back.
Oh, you don't? I feel like he really likes it here, and he's done really well here.
I don't know if we really have the luxury of dropping, 80 to 100 million, because he's going to get about what Chapman got. I mean, he's in that market, so.
Oh yeah, he'll get he'll get Chapman money.
Close to 20 a year anyway. And
yeah, Jansen still.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I mean, not only have they never done it, but I mean, you have to believe they might want to try to get Bogarts, re-signed, and his market. I mean, what's Bogarts' market?
Really high, like really high. I mean, he's a Boris guy right off the bat, so that's gonna suck.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like he's going to get a Hosmer contract. I feel like that would be his ceiling. But then he gets a little slumpy, and I'm thinking, well, maybe more of a Lorenzo Cain deal. I think he gets $17 million a year over 5 or 6 years. It ended up around 80. So I just feel like
I could see Bogarts making 100 to 150 million easy.
Yeah, he could.
I mean, he'll be 27 as a UFA. That's like, perfect prime, entering your prime of your career. I mean, he won the Silver Slugger twice. His defense is great now. I think he's a really good defender now. And he hits, he's going to hit probably 25 home runs this year or close to it. He could be a 20 home run year guy, batting over 300 for you, playing good defense at shortstop. And that's hard to come by in this league nowadays. So I think he goes for 150 mil easy on the free market. I think we're going to try and lock him up to 20 million a year, 25 million maybe. I think that's where we end up trying to get him. I think you need him as well. I think that you can let some other guys go that might get, middle of the pack money and stuff like that to kind of keep him.
Yeah, and the Kimbrel deal would have a lot to say about that as well. I don't see us signing them both as we. And Chris Sale actually reaches free agency that same year as Xander, so that's going to be kind of a mess of an off season. I feel like.
Yeah, that's really going to suck. But at the same time, we do have some money coming off the books in the next couple of years, and
true,
you can kind of move some guys around. You never know what David Price is going to do, but
if he opts out, that's huge.
That's huge. Massive. Even if he was to come back, like I've talked about before, even if he was to kind of rework that a little bit to kind of help out the team, that wouldn't, be the biggest thing. But, I mean, we have Alan Craig, who only makes $1 million, but that's $1 million. There you go. You got Sandoval and Hanley, the two big ones for the total re-signing there, and, with the payroll. So you got guys that are eventually going to be coming off the books.
Yeah, Castillo's another guy who's kind of eating away at us a little bit, but it's hard for us to really establish any value with him if we just keep him down in Pawtucket. But
I think that's just going to be that contract's just going to end. And I mean, what a weird career for that guy. He might never play a game in the major leagues again, but he's made him $11 million. He's going to make $70 million.
He's really been a victim of our terrible payroll, really. Because
he has. I mean, he didn't do the best when he was up here, but we didn't give him really a fair shot. Well, but I mean, he's made $11 million a year for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, he's got 2 years left after this, or is that a player option? It's the player option, so he's not going to opt out of a player option. So we got him for another 2 more years after this, but it's just crazy. He's a UFA when he's 34 years old, and $72 million he made playing in Pawtucket.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a player that he would resemble. He doesn't seem to hit for power, but could be a decent contact hitting outfielder.
Yeah,
if given the chance. But
in 2014, he played 20 games here and he batted .333, which was nice, with only 2 home runs. But 2015, he played 80 games, he batted .250. And then in 2016, he played 9 games, batted .250, and then we just never saw him again.
Yeah, And 2014 was kind of a throwaway year anyway. There wasn't really much pressure on him to do a whole lot because, we were going to finish last anyway. We just sold off Lester and Lackey and all them. Yeah, so that's...
2015, he had 273 at-bats. He got his at-bats. He definitely doesn't hit for power.
Right.
But he could have been a speedy, he got a good arm. And I don't know. He was a weird guy, but, we're never going to trade that contract. He'll be 34, like I said, so I don't know if anyone's even going to sign him at that point. Well, I'm sure I don't know if he's going to go back to Cuba, but he made.
Yeah, that was that was kind of a reactionary signing when we missed out on Abreu.
Yeah, 100% it was.
Chicago outbid us on that, and we got stuck with Rusney. Yeah, and before we get into some Mariners baseball, we saw a little bit of Moncada in the series before this one, and I think the Red Sox would have ruined him had he stayed within the organization, because I think when they called him up, they really thought he was pretty close to being ready, and Benintendi had just made it from being drafted to the big club in the fastest in recent memory. So I think we thought the magic would be there with Moncada, and he was just, what was he, 1 for 16 or something, and then we optioned him, and then we traded him. So
he ended up, in 8 games he batted 210, 211.
Oh, did he? Okay.
In 2016, but then in 2017 he had 200 plate appearances, and he batted 231, and now this year he has 228 plate appearances, and he's batting 232.
Yeah, so I'm pretty comfortable saying he's fallen a little short of expectations, and that's in a very low-pressure market right now that's not competitive.
Yeah, he fell super short of expectations, but we had him hyped up a lot higher than I think that he should have been. But he's 23 years old, so he's got 3 or 4 years to figure it out before you can kind of say. I think if he's 27 and he's batting 230, 240, you can kind of safely say, okay, this kid was not the kid that we thought he was going to be. And the Red Sox definitely won that sale trade. But, if he ends up batting 260, 270 when he's 26, 27 and hitting 20 home runs, then, he turns out to be a solid ball player. But it would have been nice to have him at second base now, considering what we have. Holt's playing well, but he's not the long-term success. But I would make that trade every day, to trade a guy that wants to throw the ball 125 miles an hour and Moncada for Chris Sale for what he's doing for this team now and could be in the future.
Right. Yeah. So I guess the jury's still out on him, but I'm glad it's not really at our expense anymore, because I agree. I feel like we definitely won the trade at this point. So
yeah, we won the trade in our own right, but I think both teams ended up winning the trade because they got two great prospects and someone that's playing for them right now who has a high ceiling, I guess.
Right. And Kopech's kind of turned it around. He had a slow start to the season with their AAA team, and I think he's bounced back with a couple good outings. So that might be where the value really ended up, But like I said, the jury, is still definitely out on that. So, all right, we'll transition into some Seattle Mariners baseball since we are actually flying out to Seattle. In fact, the team's probably at about 40,000 feet right now.
Probably.
Yeah, getting ready to play the Mariners. And with us on the line right now, he writes for, I hope I don't botch this, SotoMojo.com.
You got it.
And that's affiliated with Fansided.
Yeah, and they're a subsidiary of SI.
Oh, Sports Illustrated. Nice. Josh, how are you?
Yeah. I am good. How are you guys? Thanks for having me.
Hey, Josh. Thanks. How bud?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well, why don't you get right into it, Dave?
Yeah, sure. So, obviously, you guys are in first place. So that's great. Congrats. So, I think the biggest kind of thing for the Mariners right now from the outside looking is, I don't think that I didn't expect you guys to be where you are right now, and I feel you guys are overperforming a little bit. So kind of tell us how you feel about just this team playing